This map reflects the data from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. It depicts the two most commonly consumed sources of carbohydrates in proportion to each other in each country. This includes both cereals such as corn, rice, sorghum and wheat, as well as roots such as cassava, potato, sweet potato and yam. The three most commonly consumed starches across the world are rice, wheat and potatoes. Rice tends to be more often eaten in East Asia, Southeast Asia and South Asia. Wheat and potatoes tend to be eaten more in Europe, the Middle East, North Africa and Central Asia. Wheat and potatoes are by far the two most commonly consumed sources of carbohydrates in Europe. Interestingly enough, the top two in every European country are wheat and potatoes. This is not surprising since bread, pasta, dumplings and potatoes are traditional staples of European cuisine. Wheat is the most commonly grown crop in Europe. It has been grown there for thousands of years. In contrast, the potato is relatively new. It actually originated in South America and only arrived in Europe in the 16th century. Belarus consumes an especially large amount of potatoes. They are used to create a variety of dishes, including potato pancakes, known as draniki. In North America, Canada and the United States also consume a lot of wheat and potato products like their European counterparts. However, the cuisine is different in Mexico and much of Central America, where corn is the most consumed starch. It is usually ground into flour and cooked. Corn originated in Mexico, so it is not surprising it is so popular in this region. Rice is another commonly eaten source of carbohydrates in the Caribbean. Central America and the Caribbean's hot and humid climate is conducive to rice farming. South America has a wide variety of different sources of carbohydrates. The potato is native to the Andes Mountains, so it is not surprising to see it being a popular starch in South America. However, in the tropical regions of South America, rice is a more common staple. People with West African ancestry helped establish its cultivation in the region. In Paraguay, cassava is the most commonly consumed starch. The native Guarani people use it to make baked rolls called chipa. In the southern portion of the continent, where European influence is highest and the climate is the coolest, it is logical to see that wheat is the most consumed starch, since immigrants brought over their culinary preferences from Europe. An extremely wide variety of different starches are consumed in Africa, largely based on what crops are typically grown in each region. In East Africa and especially Southern Africa, corn is extremely popular. It is relatively new since it was first brought to the continent by Europeans in the 16th century. Corn is used to make a variety of popular dishes, including ugali or pap. Cassava is another plant from the Americas that eventually became a staple in sub-Saharan Africa. It is popular in the tropical regions of the continent. Rice is mainly consumed in two parts of Africa, West Africa and Madagascar. In the Sahel, sorghum and millet are popular sources of carbohydrates. In the Arabic-speaking countries of North Africa, wheat is the most consumed starch, like much of the Middle East and Europe. Asia is split between countries that predominantly eat rice and countries that predominantly eat wheat products. Rice is the most consumed starch in East Asia and Southeast Asia, while wheat is the most consumed starch in the Middle East and Central Asia. Both crops are native to Asia. Interestingly enough, Myanmar is the country that is the most dependent on rice in the world. Both bread and rice are commonly consumed in India. East Asian countries eat their fair share of wheat products as well. Like in Africa, cassava is the most popular in tropical regions like Cambodia and Indonesia. Oceania is split between Australia and New Zealand and Melanesia and Polynesia. Due to European immigration, wheat and potatoes are commonly consumed in Australia and New Zealand. Fiji, Samoa and New Caledonia also eat a lot of starches imported from around the world. However, before European colonization, taro, breadfruit and coconuts were their main staple foods. Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands are the only countries in the world where the most consumed starch is the sweet potato. However, this crop actually originated in Peru. The exact time period it came to Melanesia is disputed, but it is now widely grown in these countries. Please like and subscribe to the Objective Lists channel, as there will be even more interesting videos coming soon. For more insights and analysis, please visit objectivelists.com for new and thought-provoking articles about our world.